Okay. We go then to Ruth Smith of Harbour School.
Okay, I think that's quite useful to individualise feedback in a practical situation. There was an Oxon report on science education earlier in the month, and one of the things it questioned was, why do we make our students do group work or paired work in science rather than individual work? And we're saying, well, there is equipment, it's space and time and things like that. But one thing we can very easily improve is the quality of individualised feedback for their performance when they're doing practicals. So there's 100 more ways you can do it that I don't need to tell you about. Two quick things that have worked for me. A slide like that takes about 10 seconds to type up as an add-on to a practical task that you might be doing in your subject already. And the effect it had on my class was to improve the focus in the lesson and to improve the level of discussion that the students were having as they performed practical. I said, you've got to do it yourself, and your partner will be watching and marking you on these 3 areas, and then you can swap and then you do it yourself and watch the other partner. And they were saying, what do you have to get wrong to get 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 out of 5? And it meant that they were having to discuss what made a really good practical. Really obvious stuff. If you want to make the feedback more of the objective, if you want to spend time getting the criteria together with your students and getting them to identify for themselves what they need to achieve when they do their next practical task to improve, then get them to write down after and work on it together what they need to improve, and have their buddy, their partner, hold them to account on it and assess to what extent they met their own criteria at the end of that activity. This wasn't, it's just the best example to hand, but this was about the recording and the use of language in the descriptions, not necessarily the task itself. Finally, to broaden it out to any subject in school, whenever you're doing group presentations, it really takes very little effort to orchestrate the buddy in the audience who's going to give you your individual feedback on your particular contribution to a group presentation. At this time of year, we would say, I'm just watching you. Are you actually pulling your weight in the group work? And now I'm going to receive my feedback from my buddy in the audience.